And now let's go to the old traditional, your roots of your house. And you brought us 3 wines, and I will put this away. And we start with the Torre de Lona. Maybe you say something about this wine, and how what is behind the wine, and what is how did you do that? What's about the grapes? How old the grapes, and all these kind of things.
With this winery, it belongs to the to Rioja Alta since 1987.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a winery of 65 hectares.
Mm-hmm.
Chateau style. We have in the wine jars about 95% Tempranillo, 5% Mazuelo, and it is in the wine that you have right there because it contains 95% Tempranillo and 5% Mazuelo. This is a wine more fruit. It's a Rioja wine, but it's a little bit more alive. We can say so. A little bit less time in aging than the traditional Rioja Alta wines. It has been 20 months in a French oak, an American oak. And for this wine, for making this wine, we are using the batonnage for 3 months. So during 3 months, we put it in a small barrels, this wine, in its lids, and we make 2 or 3 times per week the batonnage to move a little bit with the lids, just to bring a little bit out more the fruit inside the wine. This is what we are doing.
I just wanted to say for a Reserva, it's very fruity, and also my question, because I got it on my question map here as well. So what is the hard rule on Rioja Reserva? So you said 95% Tempranillo. So how much have to be inside a Reserva of Tempranillo grapes to qualify as a Reserva? And what are the rules for putting them in the barrel? And when are you allowed to sell them? What is the basic rule on that Reserva?
Yes, for the crianza, we have the crianza, the reserva, and the grandes reservas, for example. The wines that are considered for crianza are the wines that are in the third year. In the third year has been at least 1 year in barrel and then 1 year in bottle. To be a reserva, it has to be at least 1 year in boot and then 2 years more in bottle. This is the average. This is the average.
In the third year as well. So, but it can be sold in the third year as well. So, but it have to be 1 year in the barrel, 1 year in the bottle, and then be sold the third year.
Yes, and this is the crianza. And then a reserva, it has to be for 3 years is minimum with us.
Okay.
The reserva, yes.
Okay. Cool. And the grapes, the percentage of the grapes that can be in a Rioja, the Tempranillo have to be minimum 90%, 95%, or what is the rule for that, or is there no rule?
No, it has to be, the wine has to be more with Tempranillo than other grapes. The grapes that are allowed here by Bio in Rioja, it's Garnacha, Mazuelo, Graciano, and Tempranillo. Mm-hmm. But the wine has to be with more percentage of Tempranillo than the rest of
okay, so it's basically can be 51, but normally it's 90% or 95 in the normal blends, right?
Blends, yes. Normally it has to be more Tempranillo than the rest.
Okay, great. Well, you said it already, but this is for Reserva. For me, it's very fruity. But you explained it already in the way you make the wine to pull out more fruitiness into the wine. What else can you say about the character from your side about the wine, and what from your side what makes it special? This wine.
Yes, this wine is characterized by a very fruity wine to be Rioja, with more, you can say more berries, also blackberries in there. But very well balanced. It has a really good balance, a very well polished tannins, very nice and elegant, softer than Ribera del Duero, and it's a very nice and elegant wine.
I can totally agree, and I know, I mean, you know this as well, I think, that the only critics about Rioja is sometimes that it's too woody, too much wood. But to my audience, if you don't like too much wood, but you want to try Rioja, I think this wine is the right wine for you. Go for this wine because it's still fruity. Of course, it have wood. There is no Rioja I can imagine that have no wood, but this is very well balanced between wood and fruitiness, for my opinion. And so, my dear audience, if you really don't like too much wood, I think this Reserva is really a good choice. I tasted all these wines before, as I always do, and I made this note for myself because I know you, my dear audience, because some of you like this balance between wood and fruit to be less wood and more fruitiness. And I think this is the right wine to go for in this case, you know. Yeah, so that's, I look at my question desk. There is one more question, two more questions, but one is, I go on later, but one more question is about, this is a very traditional corset you have on the Rioja wines. Is there any plans on doing some sideways in the Rioja area? We know this from like this super Tuscan wines and all these kind of things that they left the basic rules to make something different. Is there anything in plans that you want to do something that is, you know, like the Rioja rules?
Yes, actually we are drinking in Torre because this is a wine and this is not the traditional Rioja wine. That's why we decided to move to this direction inside Rioja deal with this wine, and this is what we are making, a little bit more modern, more fruity wines. With this a little bit aging, but more easy drinking wine, as you say, a little bit less. Well, in our traditional wines, they're very well integrated wood and you cannot feel it, but with this is just more fruity wine, more alive wine that you can feel it.
So I got it right. So that's what I said before. It's more this kind of balance between less wood and more fruitiness. So that's what we can. And you this is the way of style of wine you want to go with this path with this kind of wines.
With this kind of wines, with this winery, just with this winery, because for the traditional wines we have Rioja Alta, and we would like to continue, and we will continue with the same traditional way of making wines with Rioja Alta. That's why we decided to move with this in this direction, just with Torre, this new winery.
This is not against you, Luis, but a friend now from Cologne just said, okay, then we try this the first time a Rioja because you don't like wood. It's just, you know, everybody have his taste. But then, of course, Eric, I come to Cologne, we will drink this wine together, and I swear to you, we'll love it. I know my audience, so this is, but I have to laugh a little bit.
No, it's quite correct also, because everybody has its own taste, and of course that's why we are moving. I mean, we're not moving; we are making this wine also just to cover this part of it.
Yeah, but you know what? I give you a big compliment because I asked you for a selection of wines from you, and I think it's good choice that you put this in because you made a good balance between this traditional way of wines that stands for the Rioja Alta and something that is more fruity, and you surprised me with the Rias Baixas, to be honest, because that was for me was very, when I opened the box of the choice you sent me, I was very absolutely excited that you make wine in Rias Baixas because I love it so much. Okay, well, this is now the fruity style, but now we're coming really to the traditional area of Rioja Alta. So I put aside this wine, and we go to the, you already presented it, the Vina Ardanza, is that right to say?
Yes.
This is really a flagship, you said. So tell us something about this wine. Why is it a flagship? Where came the name from, actually? And what it is standing for?
Yes, if you can give me a moment, because I'm running without a battery. Just give me just a second and just get to.
Okay, then I will answer another question. Do you have a little time?
Okay, I will go. Just a moment.
Okay. So, because Francis sent me a question again, and Francis is a fan from New York, and we are now. I think I'm thrilled that. Francis, this is I'm so excited that you were just joining this show all the time. and this means that this stream goes out to the Central Park of New York, and this is something special for me. And she asked, where can I get these wines? And Francis, I will answer this question right away when Luis is back to charge his battery. Then we answer this question, because I totally believe that Rioja Alta SA will export these wines. And as I said before, it's not worth it for me to send it to you. I will send you the address where you can get it, and then I will manage to get it to your door, as always, as you know. And thank you so much that you join this show all the time, and it's very, very nice. For people who don't know, it's a friend of mine, to be honest, but it's still, I like this very much, to know that someone across the Atlantic is now watching this stream. There is one more question, which we also have to wait for Luis. I will now, wait a second, I will put this aside and wash it a little bit so we can put in this Reserva. And guys, this is now really, this is from, where is the year? Wait a second. Hello, 2005. So now this is really Reserva. I think this is now 10 years, and for me this is very interesting to show you this still. It is, of course, if you cannot, I cannot bring this over now in the Hangout, but if I put my finger now here to the side where there is, of course, developed colors. You see brown colors already at the small colors, but for 10 years, look, this is still bright red, I think, if you see that, and of course there is developed, and it's how do you say that in English? But you can see the age of this wine now, and for me this is now very exciting, because what we drink now, the next two wines we will have, is really what the Rioja Alta is standing for. It's very, very traditional, and what Luis said before, they have very strict rules about how long the grapes have to be, how long the wine have to stay in wood, and then how long it stays in bottle, and when they allow to sell it. So imagine this: if you run a business, people know that I also advise people in building up business. Imagine that if you invest in something that you can sell only from 5 to 6 years from now in the future. So this is all part money. So you have to be able to even go over this course of 5-6 years. And because your costs are still running, and this is what amazed me about this area. So of course now you can say, if you run the company so long, you of course have then the follow-up of the last years, and then you in the flow. But still, a wine that have to stay in the shelf 5, 6 or longer years is still money that you cannot put back into your pocket. So this makes it very interesting for me to talk about this kind of things. And now Luis is back, I see, and we can talk about these wines. Luis, just for your information, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question from New York, actually. Okay. Well, I have one hardcore fan who's watching this show since the beginning, from the Central Park, and she asked, where can she buy Rioja Alta SA wines in New York? Can you give me the address? I will send it to her.
Yeah, sure. I will just write you down later the addresses where some stores. And in New York, actually, we have a really good distribution of the wines. So yes. I find all the range of wines right over there. Yes.
Yeah, because I imagined already, and for Frances, that's her name. It doesn't make any sense for me to send out wine to her, so I always organize her the address. So so finally we have one in the audience from New York. So let's get back to this wine. I already said that these traditional wines, they stay very long in barrel. You already explained some of the rules of the Rioja, but what is special about this wine? What is I guess if this is a high-class wine of your from your house,
Yes.
how much is you get out of the 1 acre of wine on this wine? How much grapes you pick for this wine, and what makes this wine so special?
So yes, this is a wine with very universal flavors. That's why it makes it very special. Special also because we are just using the best grapes that we have to make this wine, for example. And not every year we are making this wine. For example, in the case of this vintage, now you are tasting the 2005. The previous vintage was 2004, but before that it was 2001. So 2002 and 2003 we didn't make wine because it was not a good enough grapes for our wines. That's why that makes very special the wines in Rioja in general, in our wines in Rioja Alta, because we are not every year making wines. Just the best years, the best grapes, we are choosing it, and that's why all the quality this is. This is another thing that we have a very high quality is the racking. Is to move from one barrel to a second barrel. The wines for every 6 months we are doing it just for quality control and not filtration, to avoid the sediments in this wine. And what we are doing in this case for this vineyard, it has been 3 years in American oak, and then it has been in 2005. It means it has been 6 years more in bottle with us. It's a very round, very long aging wine, and this is a reserva. For us, this is our reserva. The actual vintage in 2005. It's the style of Rioja Alta.
Yeah.
It got a lot of prizes. It's not just that because we say that, because, for example, in the previous vintage, it's got 94 points, Parker points. In the previous, the Canter named this wine the best Spanish wine sold, actually. And it has a lot of...
But I have to give it... I'm very astonished about the wine because of the age. Because when I look at it, I told the audience when you were looking for the battery stuff, I told already that it still shines red.
Yes.
But you can see if you use the finger at the side, you can see that it's already have development. But how long can this wine still be in the bottle? But it can be very old, right? I mean, it's because I think it's still for a 10-year-old wine, it's coming along very, very fresh, actually.
Yes, exactly. It has a good acidity, and this is why you feel very fresh wine, very freshness, alive wine, and it's a very powerful wine with a lot of fruits, a lot of expression. That it's and this is something that is really good for this wine, as you say. The color is really good. It's really red, intense red, and it starts to be a little bit brownish around, just showing that it's an old and long aging wine.
Yeah.
And the expression of the wine is quite perfect. It has 80% Tempranillo and 20% Garnacha. So the Garnacha brings a little bit more life, more fruity wines, and the acidity, the good balance of the acidity. And this is what.
But when you say that this wine is just made in special years, so you really select the grapes. This is a selection wine, right?
Selection wine. We select the grapes. We select when the year is coming good and is a promising year. So it's the grapes are just picking up, and then just putting into the whole vinification process. And this is when the enólogo says if the wine is going to be good or not good. But we are choosing just the best grapes for this wines, and also for the next wine.
And how much is it an acre to get an idea, a visual idea? How much is an acre you pick from this grape, or is it just doesn't matter how much? It's just the best grapes.
In an hectare, we are picking up around 3,000 kilograms. To have an idea, in Rioja region, the deal allows about 6,000 kilograms per hectare. So we are picking up half, or sometimes less, of grapes, and we're just choosing the best. And then the vinification and the whole process during the barrels and the aging, also we are discharging more wine until we have the best of the best. That's why it's what we have, and we have bottled the best of the best.
Yeah.
And the first question, this wine you can keep for 15 years more or 20 years more without any problem. And you are going to feel alive for.
I absolutely agree. To be honest, it's already drinkable, you can say, sure, right? You can drink it.
Right? Yeah, you can drink it.
Because for me, what I like about it, it has a little bit like this leather developed style already, a little bit, but not too much. It's still fruity. There's still the acidity. It's not falling into this total old style of leather and tar and all these kind of things. So, and how do you see from the taste this wine in about 5 to 10 years? Will it be more leather? Of course, but how would you?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's going to be the acidity. Maybe is going to rise a little bit more because, for example, we have been open some old vintages of the 1990s, of the 1982, for example, of this wine. And when you open it and you just wait for a moment, because it's a very old wine already, you still feel the freshness of the wine, the power of the wine, and the fruity of the wine. And this is the style of this wine, and that's why we keep them for a very long time in barrels. This is the style of the wine. And this wine has been famous exactly for that.
Okay, great. No, really, I like it. And I still have to say again, to be honest, I know this discussion about wood and Rioja. It's an old discussion between friends of mine. Even this wine, I mean, of course, there is much more wood than the one before, but it's still, I love the balance between wood and fruitiness and development and the old flavors already of the developed taste, you know. So it's still, again, this is not too much wood, like sometimes you have in the discussion about Riojas. It's still very good balanced wood for me. So
it's very well integrated. The wood is very, very well integrated inside the wine and in the assemble of the wine, and this makes this a great wine because you feel more the fruitness, you feel more the acidity, and you feel more the whole what is around the wine and not the wood. Really, practically the wood you can just not feel it. Very.
Fantastic. I have to say it's really fantastic wine. It's my style. I mean, of course, it's always the question of what you like. We already discussed this. There are people who like more the Bordeaux French style, and people who might like more the Italian Tuscany wines, or maybe even Nebbiolo, whatever. But for me personally, because I like Spanish wine very much, this is a very, very special wine. And still again, dear audience, this is, of course, wood. But I think it's well balanced, and I think you should give this a try. It's really actually a very good balance between traditional wood, fruitiness, and being old, developed flavors. And when I have it in the mouth, it's really like interesting complexity that I'm often miss out in some other wines. Okay, that's for this wine. I show it again.
Mm-hmm.
But you will have it all on my blog and of course in the shop later on. And we go on now with something, a last example. This is 904 Gran Reserva. So say something about this. Where is this name from, and what is special about this wine?
Yes, we are getting into the world of the Grandes Reservas practically now. This is the 904. It's the youngest that we have, the youngest Gran Reserva that we have. Rioja Alta is making 2 different Gran Reservas. I'm going to show a little picture of this. Yeah. This is the Gran Reserva that we have. You have the 904 with you with the green label, and we have another one. It's 890. So
from 1989 then.
Yes, to explain to you a little bit better about what the numbers means. So let's start with the 890. Mm-hmm. It was the year of the foundation of the winery. So it was in in 1890 was founded the winery. That's why the name of this wine since the beginning was 1890. Just as you know, Rioja Alta is already a very traditional and old company, old winery, and exists before the DO in Spain. So and that's why we were just called to change the name, because it was, they say that it could confuse the vintage of the wine with the name of the wine.
Okay.
That's why we had to remove the number 1, just not to confuse this. And originally the name of this wine was 1890.
Okay.
Number 1, we just got the 890. So the same story comes with this with the 904. Before it was 1904. It's a date when a Swiss family, the family Ardanza, came to the winery and made what we know today as a group, La Rioja Alta. It was a special year for the winery, and that's why the second Gran Reserva was named 1904.
So they to finish the story. So they joined after the company was found. So they came to this in 1904.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Well, to look at the colors, I showed this. This now, I mean, it's difficult to show in the internet, but this is already having more developed colors. It's really, it's more brown, and I mean, it's not brown, but it's already bricks, like in a brick building. If you take a brick out, and it's more this, it's not so red anymore, and you have that already the very developed style, but still, for me, and the leather and tar is of course now much stronger because it's a Gran Reserva, but it still have the acidity and the fruitiness. I must say I'm very astonished. And say something about the style of this wine, and this is now 2004, right? And how long can you keep this?
You can keep it for 20-25 years more without any problem, because it's a very long wine. It has been 4 years in American oak barrels. We were making the racking practically 8 times. So 8 times was just tasting the quality. It was remove all the sediments. Was giving some air to breathe a little bit more for 6 months every time that we were racking the wine. So it's a wine that is ready just to keep for a longer time. But as we say here in Rioja, the best bottle is the empty bottle.
Well, you can keep this for Rioja only, okay? This is, I think it's a general compliment if the bottle is empty, right?
Correct, because we are looking exactly for that, a wine to be drinking. And this is a wine that the composition is 90% Tempranillo, 10% Graciano. Yeah. And I think you feel notes of leather, you need the folds of silky, and it's a very long tasting. Maybe you start to feel the taste and the aromas from the throat coming out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very long tasting. It's a perfect taste, and this is a wine that we really love here in the winery. It's a Gran Reserva, and it's one of the most famous. Actually, this vintage got 96 points Parker for the people who likes to follow Parker. And in the previous vintage was the 2001 again, because the 2002 2003 we didn't make it. So, and in 2001 got again 96 points Parker. So it tells us that we are doing the things in the best way we can, and the critics, they are just rating very well. And you can see the consistency from year to year that is quite good, because we got exactly the same points.
Yeah, it's a very good wine for the fireplace, because this is really something I would open if I sit at the fireplace to think about really something very special, and I think this tar and leather thing is really very smooth. Yes. Nice balance with still the acidity is really I think it's all bind very nice, and I'm I'm very excited, and I'm very happy that you gave me this wine to taste, because this is really a good example of Rioja and what it stands for. Of course, could be now, for some who like more the fruity style, this could be now something that you don't like not so much anymore. But still, I have to say, I expected much more, how do you say, more the wood, more the tar, more the leather. But I have to say, I'm very astonished. It's very well balanced for me.
And all the elements are very well integrated and form just a one body, and it's a really great wine. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and this you produce every year, or is it also a selection wine?
It's a selection wine. We are not making the wines every year in general in Rioja, except for the white wine and one of our reservas, that is Vina Verde, we are practically making almost every year. But these reservas and Gran Reservas like this, we are making just in the best years.
Okay. And how many kilos you make on the acre with this wine? Same, like 3,000?
Yes, something like that, a little bit less, 2,500, but just choosing the best grapes. So we select again the grapes for this wine.
Okay.
So because are very few, and we are also selecting the barrels. When we sell the barrels, you can imagine 4 years in barrels and making 8 times racking. During this process, we are also losing wine with not so good quality that we are looking for. So at the end, we just get some bottles.
Okay. So there's one more question. I forgot about this. Of course, how old are the trees in Rioja then for these wines? How old are these trees?
About 30, 35 years old. They are not that old also.
Okay. And other part of the question. The translation is sometimes a little weird. No, so you answered that. The way of now I got it. What is the style of how the grapes grow? Do you bind them also? You bind them, or are they on the ground?
No. It's fine. It's fine in 2 arms. Yes, it's in 2 arms.
Okay.
It's the way of Rioja, yes. It's Rioja Alta.
Okay.
So some of the vines are on the ground for some people here in Rioja, but we are not using it. So our enologue, he thinks, and our director of agriculture, they think that the best is just growing in the arms, like in the vines.
There are some fans from Frankfurt asking, this was now the selection of 5 wines. What else do you have? How many wines do you produce, and what is your selection? Just give a small overview. I mean, I think you will have a lot.
No, not really. We don't have a lot. So I'm going to just explain to you, because, for example, we are going to start with Rías Baixas.
Mm-hmm.
We are making just one wine, the white wine that we were tasting. Rías Baixas is one wine. In Ribera del Duero, Ribera del Duero, here is our chateau. You can see we are making 2 different wines. The wine that we just tasted is a crianza, Aster Crianza. It's 100% Tempranillo. And we are making another one. It's a Finca Elotero.
Which area was it? Which?
Finca Elotero.
Ah, okay, yeah.
We're making just around 20,000 bottles of this with a small plot that is in Rivera, in our facilities, and we are picking the grapes from this. And so, just getting back to Rioja, we have in Rioja Alavesa, we were talking about Rioja Alavesa also. We were tasting Torre de Oña, modern style. We have this Torre de Oña that we tasted, that is a Reserva, and we have another one, Crianza.
This a younger one.
And it's the only Crianza that we have in Rioja practically.
Okay. What is this pricing? What is the pricing for the Crianza? How much this is?
Yes, for the Crianza could be in Germany around 9 euros.
Oh, okay. Good fare.
Something like 9 euros, but and actually has been very well awarded in Spain as a good quality for the price. This wine. And also, then in Rioja Alta, we are making this just Reservas and Gran Reserva. Those are our 5 wines here. We have Vina, this is the youngest one, 2 years in American oak, 100% Tempranillo.
Okay.
We have 3 years in American oak also, and it has 95% Tempranillo and 5% Mazuelo. And the Viña Ardanza that we know very well already, 80% Tempranillo, 20% Garnacha, and has been 3 years in American oak as well as the Viña Arana. But then we move to the Gran Reservas. We have 2 Gran Reservas. The 904 that we just tasted, 90% Tempranillo and 10% Graciano, and it has been 4 years in American oak. And then the Gran Reserva, the 190, it has 95% Tempranillo, and the rest of the 5% is between Graciano and Mazuelo.
Okay.
This is a wine that we keep for 6 years in American oak, and then 7 years or 8 years more, depending of this of the vintage, in bottles. For example, now our actual vintage is the 2001. So you can imagine 6 years in barrel. It means 2007 it was moved to bottles. So it has around already 8 years in bottle, and it's a perfect, nice wine, very well velvet, silky, very well balanced, and and the wood is really very good integrated, and you almost don't. Very elegant wine, yeah.
Okay. Now this is a French question. I have Catherine, which is another fan from Nice, and she asked, how did you come to be part of this? Are you family, or are you employed? How did you come to the company?
I'm employed. I study international marketing mainly, and I speak some languages, and Rioja Alta contract me. That's why I came here to the world of the wine. Of course, as many Spanish people, we are fond of wines here, of good wines, and since always, I'm very familiar with wines because with my family, we grew up in this world also. We've been tasting wines. My father was a wine lover also, and this wine is very well known for me. But I'm mainly a specialist for international marketing. That's why it's for me, and they contract me.
Where did you study that? Where have you been there? Where have you studied?
In Barcelona. Yes, I have been studying international marketing in Barcelona and international business, administration in England, and also I was studying biochemistry.
Okay.
It's many degrees back. Then this.
Nice.
And I was in Germany also in Hamburg. I was living for 1.5 years. And also I was living in Belarus for 1.5 years, studying at the university the Russian language.
Okay, but it's nice to study in Barcelona, I guess, isn't it? It's also a nice wine area, isn't it? Around that house.
Yeah. Yes, there is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's different regions in Spain located with a good views.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great coverage on Rioja Alta. Luis, I want to really thank you so much. And the last question I always ask my winemakers or the interview partner is, if you would be the audience of this kind of show, what kind of winemakers, you can also advise personal small ones, in Spain, would you like to see on a show like this? I mean, of course, you stand for the Rioja Alta, but which winemakers you think, from your perspective, you would like to see on a show like this?
From Spain, you mean?
Yeah, from Spain.
Okay, I would like to see people from Ribera del Duero, for example, some other wineries. Vega Sicilia will be perfect, but of course it's quite difficult to make an interview with them, but will be nice. Also, and this is another winery that I like, and it's quite good. I think it's Rías Baixas. It's Trasgauda also is very interesting. And yes, this is I would like just to see in this kind of shows.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Thank you so much, because I take this really as advice for the next people to approach and ask for an interview. So yeah, the tradition is that I just say something now to my audience. I want to thank everybody who watched now the Vino Vademecum again. We now already on air for a longer time now. And please, my dear audience, if you have questions, feel free, email me. Also after this show, this video, if you see this video not live, later on YouTube, and you want to know something, also a question for Luis, email me and I will transfer this question to Luis. And even if you see this video from today in 10 years, I'm thrilled and really want to help you and get the answer to your desk. So send me your question whenever you want, and I will try to get all the information. And I thank personally everybody who sent questions to the show. I'm absolutely thrilled. If somebody I didn't answer any questions because I have some more here on my list, don't be disappointed. I will answer every question later on email. To be honest, and people who know me know that I do that. I'm really engaged with my audience, and I really want to thank you. But now the last word I always give to my interview partner, and I give it over with a big thank you, Luis, that you take your time to present your wines to my audience. And if there's anything else on your soul you want to say about wines and your winery and everything, I give you the last word. This is traditional with wine Vino Vademecum. I always give the last word to my interview partner. So, dear Luis, I give you the final word.
Okay, thank you very much, Christoph. First, for this interview, it was very nice, very pleasant for me. And thank you very much for the opportunity that you gave us to present the wines and the wineries to your audience. It was very nice and very kind for you. And also to all your audience and to you, you are welcome here to Rioja Alta to taste these great wines and to visit us. And I hope that they can taste also these wines and then tell us them later if this wine was good for them. And I hope to see everybody here with us soon.
Okay. All right. Then bye-bye, everybody. We see you next time. Vino Vademecum. Try to get on our email list so we can always inform you about new developments. I promise you we don't spam anybody. We only want to inform about important stuff. So join our email list and see you next time. Be happy, live with passion, and taste always good wines. Have a good time and bye-bye.